The pandemic had an adverse effect on mankind, majorly the youth, who had difficulties in connecting with their daily life friends. They were upset about the world being shut inside. But that was when one of their most loved games evolved and replaced loneliness. Yes, some of you might have already guessed it right. It's PUBG. PUBG, the battleground where the battle was mostly fought when the world was sitting inside. Welcome back to Evo Chronicles, where we showcase the evolution of movies, video games, and characters. And in this video, we are going to see the evolution of PUBG. The mark of the beginning. Battles are never won alone. Neither can they be won by using a single mind plan. It requires planning, because hitting hard your enemies will ensure two things. Firstly, that if your plan succeeds, you don't need to fight any longer. But it's scary that the other side of the coin has for you, and it's revenge that your enemies will be thinking of. Battles are neither won alone nor in a day. Sometimes it may even take ages if the conflict goes hidden. That's the point when you require a team to fight against your enemies, whom you can trust and rely on when you're down and out and have no clue of winning. Every youngster at their prime age is thought to be on the battlefield at least for once, just like a warrior, thrashing the opponent. Well, this dream was made true when PUBG made its mark on the market. PUBG Battlegrounds, earlier known as PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or simply PUBG, is an online multiplayer Battle Royale game developed and published by PUBG Corporation, currently PUBG Studios, a subsidiary of Bluehole, currently Krafton. The game is based on previous mods that were created by Brendan, PlayerUnknown, Greene for other games, inspired by the 2000 Japanese film Battle Royale, and expanded into a standalone game under Greene's creative direction. PUBG was first released for Microsoft Windows via Steam's Early Access Beta program in March 2017, with a full release in December 2017. The game was also released by Microsoft Studios for the Xbox One via its Xbox Game Preview program that same month, and officially released in September 2018. This marked a presence on the gaming sector, hugely that a storm in the field of the gaming sector had arrived. Soon, it gained heat because of its features and with the concept that the game was launched for the youth irrespective of the nation's just love, and started playing the game with their own skill set. The way the game has been played. In the game, up to 100 players parachute onto an island and scavenge for weapons and equipment to kill others while avoiding getting killed themselves. The available safe area of the game's map decreases in size over time, directing surviving players into tighter areas to force encounters. The last player or team standing wins the round. Each match begins with players dropping from a plane onto one of the four maps. The plane's flight across the map fluctuates with each round, expecting players to rapidly decide the best opportunity to discharge and parachute to the ground. Players start with no gear beyond customized clothing choices, which don't influence ongoing interaction. When they land, players can look through structures, phantom towns, and different locales to track down weapons, vehicles, protection, and other equipment. These items are procedurally distributed throughout the map at the start of a match, with certain high-risk zones typically having better equipment. Killed players can be plundered to procure their stuff too. Players can pick to play either from the first-person or third-person perspective, each having its own advantages and disadvantages in combat and situational awareness. However, server-explicit settings can be utilized to compel all players into one viewpoint to take out certain benefits. PUBG Mobile. Battle Royale game PUBG Mobile is the direct result of the success of its PC version, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Both gamers and developers of the game at Tencent Games have been on a journey since the beginning. The game has developed a lot over the past year and is quite different now. When Brendan, PlayerUnknown Greene, wanted to create a standalone Battle Royale game, he had three objectives. First is the airdrop, where the player maneuvers himself to land in advantageous locations. The second is loot, where players find weapons and other useful tools. Finally, the third is the actual battle between the players to survive till the end. Evolution of the game through its features. No matter what particular thing it is, evolution should take place, as change is the only constant thing in this world. This marked the presence of PUBG Mobile, whose popularity reached several heights as soon as its launch. Things that made the game look and play stand out were, number 1, the storyline blended with simplicity. The game had a motto that filled the hearts of the gamers, and that was to win the battleground. Initially, each player started off with 99 other players with a period of 30 minutes. It gets simpler than that, though, as there were no looting crates and everyone's weapons looked the same. When the ground was made neutral to all, it came and stuck to the skill set of each individual that how he or she maneuvered the situation and played like a pro. It had a few glitches at the beginning, but what came in PUBG's aid was the lack of other games that matched its level. Number 2, enlightenment of plan. Any gamer who has played the original PUBG mobile game will touch for the fact that it was far too basic, except for the excitement factor. With Erangel being the only map available, gamers did not have much room to learn new skills. They simply knew that survival was the only objective of the game. The whole ecosystem is based on survival, and the factual concept was put into a game where common sense played a major role in the enhancement of players. Even though there was a very mild scope of learning new skills, it still gave rise to the thought process. The lack of other modes in the early version left the players wanting more from the game. The addition of more maps gave players a chance to stretch their muscles and develop personalized gameplay. Number 3, the change that hits hard. One change that made an impact on the early players was the removal of the 8x scope. Back in the day, assault rifles could equip the 8x scope, which was quite the advantage. Imagine that scope on an M16, and believe that it was an actual feature in the game. Another aspect that wasn't there in the earlier version, when compared to the later versions, is the 6x and 3x scopes on a lot of the lighter weapons. This wasn't necessarily a bad thing per se, but the existence of these in the game presently is a sure advantage. Number 4, breaking the language barrier. Initially, the game wasn't launched with English as the primary mode of language. PUBG Mobile came only in Mandarin, and that was considered as one of the drawbacks of the game. But when the English version was announced launching, there were 75 million pre-registrations, which made a fact clear that even when the language wasn't known, still people played and loved the game. When English was added, it just got wings and created a buzz around the globe. And number 5, Pathbreaker of evolution through maps. The game-changer move that kept PUBG users intact was surely the evolution of maps, where different sets of the map gave the exact battlefield vibe that people crave. Starting with the Erangel map, which is a mix of urban areas and wide-open farmland. It's a fictional island in the Black Sea near Russia that was a former chemical and biological weapon test zone. This was followed by Miramar, Vigendi, Sanhok, original, Erangel, remastered, Krafton, Vikendi, remastered, Sanhok, remastered, Paramo, and Haven. These maps completely changed the game and made a thriller blast for its users. The result. PUBG received positive reviews from critics who found that while the game had some technical flaws, it presented new types of gameplay that could easily be approached by players of any skill level and was highly replayable. The game received several Game of the Year nominations, among other accolades. PUBG Corporation has run several small tournaments and introduced in-game tools to help with broadcasting the game to spectators, as they wish for it to become a popular esport. The updation. The personal computer and console versions of PUBG will transition to a free-to-play model on January 12, 2022. A new account tier called Battleground Plus will be available for purchase that includes additional customization items and in-game experience boosts, with owners of the game that had purchased it before this date being provided with an upgrade to Battleground Plus automatically. On January 12, 2022, the game became free to play. With this update, players who want to play in a ranked mode or play in custom matches need to pay $13 for the Battlegrounds Plus service. Players who previously owned the game receive Battlegrounds Plus for free. That's all for today's video. Let us know how was your gaming experience. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Evo Chronicles and hit the notification bell so that you can always be notified by our regular updates. Stay connected to know more about various games.